I'm looking at your bike.
Oh,
I'm a bike geek. I can't help myself.
Right on.
Yeah.
So I'm here with Paul
Yeah. Hey, Pete.
from
How you
Wasco
doing, man?
County. And
Here, gotta get this.
let's see. Yeah, there we go. Make sure I get a good shot of that. Excellent.
Right on.
All right, so Paul was just telling me, so where are you from again?
About 70 miles to the east of here.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And this is really important to come in and be part of this. Yeah.
And so what was it? So you said you were just here today, right? And today is what? It's the 21st of July? 20th of July?
Yeah, I drove in this afternoon. Unfortunately, I've got to drive back tonight. And if it keeps going, I'll try
But
to
we all
get
got our
back.
lives, yeah.
Yeah, I'll try to get back a couple more times this week if I can.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And so what was it that that kind of compelled you to drive 70 miles into town? And
Well, obviously.
do you have Portland connections? Like, do you spend time here normally?
A
much?
bit.
Yeah?
Obviously, BLM, Black Lives Matters is the big issue. But once we saw the feds here, once we saw what's happening with, the tyranny that's taking place, I made about 8 signs and I handed them out tonight. And basically, they all had to do with, the fact that, our country, we're losing our Constitution here. This is a constitutional crisis.
Yeah.
So, and it's compounded obviously on top of Black Lives Matters as well as COVID, right? So here's the perfect storm. If you're not outraged right now, there's something wrong with you.
So what would be like one of the worst outcomes that you could imagine if things really go badly?
Oh man, that's dystopian. That's really dystopian. Let's just say they steal the election again.
Uh-huh.
We're going back to an autocracy where oligarchs. It's going to be like Russia. We're going to have dictatorship, which obviously Putin just has another 16 years. That's what we're looking at. And journalists, people, they disappear. They disappear in this shit. And as you saw, the black vans were picking up people and detaining them. That's illegal.
Yeah.
And this is a test for the administration.
So what's the benefit of having people out in the streets?
Oh, are you kidding? I mean,
Well, I want to hear your words. Tell me.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's outrage. It's outrage. I'm like a middle class rural guy that people would see as being like middle of the road to some degree. I'm a social liberal, but I'm a fiscal conservative. But fuck this, I need to be out here. This is an outrage for all of society right now. Yeah.
Yeah. What have you seen that's been inspiring tonight?
The community, solidarity. Yeah. Obviously, I can't hang around until, unfortunately, some of the bad element might come out later on.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, this is like the naked bike ride and Burning Man all rolled up with one big love fest. I mean, we love one another, and we're here for a reason.
So when if the police aren't involved, you're not really seeing violence or.
Well, there can't be any violence, right? I mean, the idea of whatever has transpired with. When you say violence, there's a big difference between vandalism and violence, and we know that we have provocateurs. I always question as to who's actually bringing about this quote-unquote violence, or what did I just say? I can't remember.
Graffiti, vandalism.
Yeah, I mean that's small potatoes. Obviously, it's something that outrages Middle America, but you know what? Tough shit. They got to start to deal with the fact that our country has this disparity.
Yeah. So I have been trying to keep track of some of the demonstrations there've been in the last few months all over Oregon and all over the country. I know there've been like way more than I would have expected to see in Oregon. What's there been in Wasco County? What's the mood out there?
We actually had, right after George Floyd was killed, we actually did a march through town, and it's a very, very conservative agricultural town.
Uh-huh.
And
was this in the Dalles or?
Yeah, in the Dells. Yeah, and Hood River has 2 activities every week. Every Wednesday night we have white coats for Black Lives in front of the hospital, and we do that. But the thing that took place in the Dells was a big march, and we all lay down in front of the police station for 8 minutes and 46 cents, and it was quite impressive. And obviously had a bunch of people standing around with automatic weapons trying to intimidate us, but we weren't intimidated. We couldn't be,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But there aren't many people of color there, right?
Right.
So mainly it was white folks, right? There are maybe 7 or 8 people of color, and we're trying to let them be in the forefront.
Yeah.
But the outrage is outrage. It doesn't matter, what the demographics are.
Yeah.
You have to get involved. You just have to be involved if you have a conscience.
What's sort of the government take out there? The local police, the city council.
Local police are pretty good. The actual city government and county government is slightly to the right, but they're common sense people. Rural people are not gonna be jumping in it, on top of it. Obviously always have your incendiary people,
Right.
but for the most part, it's not a bad place to be. Yeah.
Something that kind of occurs to me, I mean, just like where you are physically, like is not that far off halfway between, this stuff and the Malheur takeover.
Yeah.
From a few years ago.
Sure.
What was your take on that?
Oh, are you kidding? A bunch of idiots from Idaho deciding that they, states' rights and everything that they eschew. It was a shame it ended so badly, and that the DOJ screwed it up so badly.
Yeah.
Because they really did. They dropped the ball. But for the most part, everybody from bird watchers to any person of common sense, including local dry wheat ranchers, were just like, why is this happening? How did these people from out of state coming in here and doing this?
Yeah.
And obviously,
so really cutting across political ideologies.
I would say so. I mean, obviously, there's always a polarity that exists,
right.
but I would say that the majority of people in my community were outraged.
Yeah.
With what was taking place, and we were really outraged that the DOJ dropped the ball when it came to prosecuting them. Yeah, it really should have gone a lot better.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for coming down. I think is there anything else you want to tell me about before I stop the recording?
Not so much. What's your favorite color?
Right now it's black.
Same here, man. Big fist.
No.
Yeah. Cheers. Thanks, dude.